Alright folks, we're in Spain, in the south of Spain to be exact, in the province of Andalusia. You're looking north. If you try to mentally imagine the map of Spain a little bit, you know it's to the south of Spain, right? It's part of the Mediterranean. So let's turn around and take a quick look over here, past the folks who made it to the summit, taking Instagram photos. We're now looking south. And what I really hope you can see is right over here in the back, there. Once it is back to sharp, yep, you should see two kind of peaky mountains. Not the ones in the front, but the ones in the back. Those are antiquities, pillars of Hercules. They were at the time the end of the known world. If you sailed from the Mediterranean over here to the west through the pillars of Hercules, then you would be leaving the world, leaving the known world, and you would probably never return. The right one of these pillars is these days called Gibraltar. It's a British Crown territory, even though it's part of the Iberian Peninsula. So many Spanish people consider that it's better to be part of Spain. And the other one is Africa, and it's called Ceuta, also part of Spain, funny enough, even though it's in the Moroccan part of Africa. So all the mountains in the back, in the far back that you see the dark line over there, that is, we're looking already across the Mediterranean at Africa. So that's the African mountain range of Morocco and Tunisia. If we look in the front here, we see a very populated coastal plain. It's part of a very densely populated touristic area called the Costa del Sol. Huge tourist influx every summer. This video is made in March when it's still reasonably cool, but in summer this is extremely hot here, even up top on this mountain. And people are really coming to the sea to tan and visit the beaches and so on, eat fish soup. I'm going to take you back to the east and north for a little bit to tell you a really cool story. So what are we looking at now? I'm almost exactly looking, let's say northeast from here, especially maybe a bit more east than north. What we see here is the town, a large town of Malaga, also on the coast. In the far back you see a snowy mountain that is called Sierra Nevada, which is Spanish for snowy mountain. It's very high, it's almost 4,000 meters high. It's an ancient volcano. And it is just so high that even being so far south and in such a otherwise hot region, it catches some snow. The mountain that I'm currently on actually also catches some snow, and it's called Sierra de las Nieves, Mountain of the Snows, even though today there's hardly any snow. The valley that I hope you can see stretch from here all the way to there once the image stabilizes, that valley used to be an actual connection between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Ocean. Right now there's only one of those connections. We were just looking at it. That's the Pillars of Hercules. That's the connection between between Gibraltar and Africa. But there were several about 7 million years ago, and the one that we're looking at, the valley that you don't currently recognize as such, was a connection between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Water was flowing here. We find marine sediments, we found shells, we find deposits that can only form underwater. There's no doubt that there was a marine connection. Up until 7 million years ago, when those connections were severed, there was erosion, there was uplift, and the water could no longer enter the Mediterranean. And at that point, the Mediterranean completely dried out. The Mediterranean dried out because it requires water influx from the Atlantic. Even now, every single day, water enters the Mediterranean from the Atlantic. Otherwise, the Mediterranean would dry out. That's because there's so much evaporation from the Mediterranean. That event 7 million years ago, when the Mediterranean essentially dried out, when there was no connection, that is called the Messinian salinity crisis. Why salinity crisis? Because the water in the Mediterranean became incredibly saline as less and less water was available for the existing amount of salt. So you're kind of looking at a little bit of a famous area, as long as you're interested in natural history and physical geography. Should you go to this place? Yeah. Of course you should go to this place. This is amazing. Go here. Bye.